Hello, this is number 4 of our courgette videos. As you can see, today we'll be making chutney. This is a lovely recipe and I hope you enjoy it if you make it. And this is what you'll need today. We've got about 200 grams of onion, a whole head of garlic, about 200 grams of ginger. There's not quite that there, but I didn't have any more. Some chillies to taste, really. I'm going to put in 3. Star anise, mustard seeds, garam masala, chilli powder, cumin and turmeric. You will need 2 kilos of courgette. I'm going to use a nice big one here. Sugar, apple cider vinegar, salt and vegetable oil, and you'll need a food processor of some sort and a nice big pan. I'll go through the quantities as we are putting them in, and I'll also put them in the description. The first thing we're going to do is prep our courgette. So this is a big one. There's likely to be seeds inside of it, so I'm just going to chop the end off. And that end is a little bit rough, so I'm going to chop that off. And start by chopping it down the middle. This really is a big one. Now you need 2 kilos. You can see that's got seeds in it, so I'm going to scoop those out. Okay. They come out really easily. Just got a spare bowl here to put all the gubbins in. And with these, we're going to coarsely grate them. So I'm just going to chop this up just into rough sections. I am going to leave the skin on today. So just into grateable size pieces, and I'm just going to use my the big grater and grate it all up. And there we go. As you can see, I've got just over 2 kilos there, but I just had a little bit left, so I put it in. It's perfectly fine. Now, once you've cleared up the mess that grating courgettes make, and you're asking yourself why I'm doing this much, is it worth it? Yes, it is. You're going to need a bowl and a colander that doesn't sit on the bottom of the bowl. Okay, and we are going to put in the grated courgette and then put some salt on it, because this drains off the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit in and a bit of salt. And I'm going to continue layering this up. Once you've done this, you're going to leave it for an hour, and the water will drain through to the bottom of the bowl, and you can go and have a cup of tea. Just come across a couple of pips there. I don't know if you can hear the squelching. There's a lot of water in these. Right, so that now gets left for an hour. So go and have a cup of tea, but we can come back and we can make a start on the onions and things while this is still draining. Right, it's been about half an hour The courgettes are still draining nicely. I'm just going to leave them as they are with the salt on them. And we are going to process these bits. You need 350 ml of apple cider vinegar, and that is one of these size bottles. A whole head of garlic, about 200 grams of onions. This is slightly more, but we like onions, so it doesn't matter. About 200 grams of ginger. We can't buy ginger loose, so we'll have to buy a pack of it, and this was the whole pack. It's a bit less than 200 grams, but with chutney it doesn't really matter, you don't have to be exact. And some long red chillies here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to peel and roughly chop the ginger. I'm going to chop up the chillies just roughly, peel and chop the onions, and peel each of the cloves of garlic and just roughly chop them. And then I'm going to put them with the whole bottle of cider vinegar into the food processor. Right, that's all chopped up, and I'm just going to pop in the vinegar. And all the bits and pieces. And we are going to blend this to a paste. I left the seeds in the chilli to add a bit of extra heat. There's only 3 chillies in there. Right, that's done. I just wanted to show you what that looks like. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So now we're going to move on to the spices. I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of oil in the bottom here, just to stop the spices from burning, give them something to cook in. And we're just going to gently heat this. Now to this, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of mustard seeds, just about 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of turmeric, 1 lots of lovely flavours going in here. 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of chilli powder. The mild chilli is all I had. A bit more than that's gone in there. And lastly, 2 star anise. And we're just going to gently heat these for a couple of minutes, just so that it flavours the oil and all the aroma comes out of the spices. When that starts to smell good, we will add our vinegar and onion and chilli paste and cook it for a little bit. So be careful that the spices don't burn, so do it on a low heat. I'm sure the sound is coming through of the mustard seeds popping. I'm going to now add our paste. A bit more loopies in a paste, really, isn't it? And we're going to stir this for about 15 minutes, just on a low heat. Right, this is bubbling away nicely. It's still on a low heat. It's been about 10 minutes, so I'm just going to check on the courgettes. You can see here, if I lift this up, I've got the juice under there. That can go in the compost, if you like. So I will be adding this into our mix in a minute. And I've also got here 200 grams of sugar. I only had white sugar. All my brown sugar is spoken for other chutneys that I'm making, so we just got white in this one. So add that in. I've just moved the camera closer. There we go. Just draining off the last drips of the courgette. That's a lot of courgette going in. Glad I used the big tub. And we'll just give that a stir in. Right, that is well mixed in now. As you can see, it is quite wet. There's quite a lot of liquid in there. So we're going to leave this to simmer for about an hour. And what you want is to be able to lift this away and you see the bottom of the pan. So it's got a while to go, but in the meantime we can sterilise our jars. Right, this has been about an hour. You can see it's broken down very nice. And when I pull the spatula through, you do see the bottom of the pan, just before it flops down again. So I've got my jars out of the oven and we are ready to jar up. Here we go. So I've got my big funnel here, my hot jars. Now if you come across the star anise, take it out. There we go, almost 8 jars of courgette chutney. This one that didn't fill up, wish we used this one first. So they are still very hot. Wait for them to cool down and then put some labels on them, and that should last us a good while. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.